So we've branded our guild and created its backstory. But now we have to get into the nitty-gritty stuff of actually having a guild. But what exactly is that? Well, my name is Anthony Joshua Porras, but you can call me AP for short, and welcome back to another Battle Nations video. And if you haven't watched the previous video on building our own guild, I would definitely pause this one and watch that one so you can kind of get caught up with where we're at with building this guild. And now that you're back, I have to definitely say thank you so much to everyone that has shown the love on the last video for this series. It's honestly insane. And the amount of DMs I have and just questions of pings of just asking, yo, how do I join PSC? What's the requirements to join the guild? And can I have a spot saved for me? Well, do not worry, because that's exactly what we're going to be going through in today's video. So funny enough, Public Service Company was actually never to become a guild. It was actually supposed to be a full-on joke, and a lot of people constantly asked me, hey, are you going to make your own guild? Is there going to be a BNAP guild? Is there going to be BNAPers? Is there going to be something with guilds but you as a leader? And I told them all, no, I don't want to run my own guild because it's a lot more work. But this is the Public Service Company Discord server. Now, not a lot of you have actually found this server. It's been under wraps for a while now, but for some reason, somehow, I don't know how any of these people actually found this server. Everyone who's like a blue name, I actually don't know how they got here, but they're here. Here we have the public important. This is basically just all the important stuff that's going to be happening with Battle Nations, people who are joining the server, and just general rules. I try to keep this as small as possible because I try to think on a PC where probably half the player base is playing this game is having a lot more visibility of what channels they see here on this side. So the more channels that there are in each category, to me, is kind of bad because it's taking up a lot more room and it just seems like a lot more to look at and be overwhelmed by. So I just try to keep it with BN updates, welcome, and rules for this section. Then we have public guild info. Here we can find 4 different channels. We have guild announcements, which is just anything about the guild and announcements for it. Then obviously having an about us page is pretty important in my eyes because I do want this server to be public still to other people to join and be closer to Public Service Company itself. Because to me, if your server isn't public and you're trying to grow that guild as big and strong as you want it to be, you kind of have to really focus on the marketing of that guild. Having an about us page to me is very important because it shows obviously the backstory that we built in the previous video, but then also show a bit of the branding that we have overall. Now we do have the prerequisitions, but we're going to get to that much later because that's a whole nother thing to unravel. And then I do have an application request. This is where you can go ahead and create a ticket to apply to join to Public Service Company. This is through a bot, which has been absolutely amazing. I did not find this bot myself. I have other people who have absolutely helped me through this process, and it's been absolutely wonderful. You can find the bot's PSC server on the side. I'm not trying to gatekeep this stuff. Again, this is to help you guys make your own guild and kind of walk you through the steps that I'm taking while building my guild. Now we get to the last public category, community general. Here, we're going to find general chat, which is just for your general chatters. This is to the public and members in PSC. We have local news. This is basically where I have a notify me bot posting every creator that I at least know of or have eyes on, where they're just constantly posting videos and anything like that. Again, this is open for anyone. They can post their own videos as well, or just talk about media in general. Then I did have a games category because I want to add some games.
You got games in your store? You got games on your phone?
And then obviously we have artwork because there's an absolute amazing artists in the Battle Nations community. And then we do have bot commands, and here we can actually see the more times you actually talk in Public Service Company, you actually have a level to your profile. So this is just to, obviously, if you want to mid-max your level in Discord, by all means, do that. And then lastly, we do have lobby and private lobby. These are 2 VCs. I don't know if I'm going to add more VCs to this, but one's just infinite amount of people that can join, and then one's a private lobby for those people who want to just have a private conversation with a smaller group. And that's going to be it for basically all the public categories in PSC. We now enter the guild category. So this is only for guild members to be able to see this. Guild members are obviously going to be able to see the public categories as well, but I also again, you are building a Discord server for our members for a public service company. I gotta have a spot for just them. They're the, you know, they're the best. They're the top of the line. I gotta treat my people good, right? You know, I gotta do them good. It's just how it be. But for the guild, I do have in-house announcements, general, off-topic, memes, base designs, flex channel, guild leaderboard self-update, and obviously a guild VC. Now for the in-house announcements, that's just, again, in-house announcements that I can't actually share to the public. Obviously, then we have general for just the general guild members to talk about, off-topic, anything that just isn't Battle Nations or guild-related, memes.
Hey, that's pretty cool.
Base designs, I absolutely care for your outpost, okay? I care how it looks. Obviously, if you're an absolute grinder and you have the spaghetti expansions, that's totally fine. But if we can make it a little pretty, hey, you know, if we're all looking good while being at the top, that's a bonus, okay? That's an absolute bonus. We don't gotta look raggedy, guys. And then obviously we do have a flex channel. Here we can basically, obviously no one's in the fucking guild, so I know it's not populated in the sense. But if you're here to absolutely be a whale, to show off all your R6 units, to show off all the pretty thingy bobs that you have, this is going to be where you flex that. Here I have a guild leaderboard. The guild leaderboard is basically just another channel to show off and flex to just your guild members. But I think this is a great way to just show other guild members and also keep pace and progress of where your members are at in reality, but still keep it fun. It's just how to gamify different things for your guild so people can enjoy grinding. Because grinding at the end of the day is not that fun. Then we do have Guild VC, where here we could just join in and talk to only our guild members. None of the public can join here because they're not a part of the Cool Kids Club, okay? They're not a part of it. Now for the next category, the guild information. Here, we obviously are going to have charts that helps out players who are joining. Maybe they didn't know tip A, tip B, or tip C, or whatever, right? And then we do have the request forum. The request forum is for a lot of different things. Here we do see tier 3 resources, gold occupations, encounter help, SP drops, all that type of stuff, right? Create a ticket and that gets sent over to a section in the Discord to allow other people that's in the guild to realize, hey, I need this, could you help out? I don't know if this system's actually going to work, but I have tested it here and there already, and I feel like it could definitely help out a lot. That just depends on how occupation works going into the future of Battle Nations. And then obviously we get to the staff. This is just general staff stuff. Staff general is just it's really just me right now, so. Now, that being said, what are the requirements for public service company? This has been an absolute hard one for me because truly all I do care about is you being an active player, but also within the community that we're building here. I'm not looking for people who are going to be playing the game for just 2 weeks and then dip off. If that's you, then this is not the guild for you. But most importantly, just vibe. Just be a vibe. That's it. Just chill, you know? Like, now, if you have all that type of stuff, then you pass the first test. Now here comes the second test. I guess the more nitty-gritty thing. Here we have public service company's prerequisitions. Here at Public Service Company, we like to cross our T's and dot our I's with new incoming members who are interested in joining the company. We will like to first thank you for choosing us as your new Battle Nation home. So what do you need to join Public Service Company? Check out our point system to ensure you have the best chances of joining the company. So with that being said, there's a lot more to explain here. What do you mean by points? What do you mean by point system? What are all these numbers? I don't know. Let me explain. Hold on. Just let me explain, okay? Here in our point system, there are 4 different categories we prioritize for each player. That's going to be advancements, production, military, and units. Each applicant will need to have at least 2 points for advancement category, 10 points for the production category, 6 points for the military category, and 6 points for the unit category. These points will be changing and increasing over time as Battle Nations obviously grows as a game itself and as the guild grows as itself. So I kind of have to find a mix between both to where obviously I'm not pushing outrageous requirements. Again, we are a competitive guild, but then I also want to still cater for the new players that are going to be coming into Battle Nations. Now, if you don't exactly understand the point system just yet, do not worry. I do have a point system example here. You do not need to complete every single bullet point. But if you did, that means even better chances of joining public service company. Here's a quick example with the advancement. If you reach level 30, 40, or LC, which means level cap, you can obtain at least 3 points. So if you are level 30, you have now obtained 1 of 3 points. If you are level 40, you obtain 2 of 3 points. And if you hit the level cap, you obtain 3 of 3 points. That's the max amount of points for that bullet point. And then down below, you can see all the different bullet points where you can earn all your different points within each category. So let's say I'm a level cap player. I've earned 3 points within this first bullet point, and I do have 200 pop. So now I've earned that extra point here as well. And let's say I only have 8K resources. In total here, I got 3 points, 4 points, and 5 points total for the advancement category. And the same goes on for the production category, the military category, and the unit category. Now, let's say you're a player who doesn't meet the requirements for all categories or even just one. It's okay if you don't. Do not worry. Just right here, it says, what if I don't meet the requirements? If you don't meet I fucked up. The requirements to join public service company, do not worry. You still have a chance as long as you're an active player and you still apply. We'll just be asking you more questions. Now, there's still a ton of stuff to still do for the Discord server for public service company. This project has taken a lot of time. I've just used this Discord server as basically as a mock guild for the longest time because, you know, being in P-War, seeing MM, seeing HSC, all these other different guilds, right? I thought to myself, what if I did brand my own guild just to kind of see, you know, how it would be? And honestly, it's pretty exciting to be able to share it with you guys. Again, obviously this series is focused on how to build a guild in Battle Nations, but at the same time, it's also showing you why I'm building my own guild and how I'm doing it and why I care so much of how I go about making this guild. This is definitely going to be a journey of not just learning how to build a guild, but for myself, learning how to be a leader. But with that being said, if you want to join the public service company Discord, the link is in the description now.